How many would like to be in a church where everybody has their gifts going really good, no one comes up short in any gift? What would that look like? Wow. And I say that because I know I'm not there yet. Like, I don't have my gifts rolling, maximum all the time. In fact, I'm not sure they're rolling maximum anytime. Just be honest. There's this thing though that was going on in the Corinthians church, and they were fired up. The Spirit moved in their gatherings, and yet Paul is kind of saying to them, you need to grow up a little. Really? I mean, we're kind of leaps and bounds in front of some other churches. Yeah, grow up. And they weren't the only ones. The writer of the letter of Hebrews, who some believe may have been Paul, and some argue was someone else, had something very similar to say here in Hebrews 5. So turn there real quick, Hebrews 5, and we'll look at verse 11. He says there, we have much to say about this, but it is hard to make it clear to you because you no longer try to understand. In fact, though by this time you ought to be teachers, you need someone to teach you the elementary truths of God's Word all over again. What? Does that ever happen? Do we ever get to the point where we have to go back to basics and learn again? Sure. All of us get to the place sometimes where we're not thinking about things that we know, things that we've been taught, things that we've actually believed, things that we may have even acted on. And then you get out of the habit of acting on certain things, and then pretty soon, it's like you've forgotten. You need milk, not solid food. There he goes again. Anyone who lives on milk, being still an infant, is not acquainted with the teaching about righteousness. But solid food is for the mature, who by constant use have trained themselves to distinguish good from evil. This milk thing appears in both of these passages. And I got to thinking about this milk thing. I still like milk. Do you like milk? Somebody says, yes, in my coffee. With cookies. Yeah, milk and cookies. Can't beat that. Do you understand, though, that milk is pre-digested food? That's what it is. Yep. A cow pre-digests it so they can feed a calf, because the calf's little belly needs, to have the right kind of stuff to start with. And then as the calf grows, it becomes a cow, and it starts eating its own grass, and then pretty soon it's pre-digesting food for its infants. And we have, it's funny, I remember a time in history of our country where, maybe you all don't know this, but there was a time when breastfeeding wasn't very popular. It kind of fell out of popularity, you just pop those kids out and give them a bottle. And now it's like just flipped to the opposite. It's like we've come back to what's natural. Why? Well, because it's good for children. It's good for their bodies. It helps them grow. It makes them healthy. I can tell you one thing. That little guy over there, he's really healthy. He's growing like a weed. And that's good. But he has to have this pre-digested food. You start shoving peanut butter sandwiches in his face right now, and he's not going to do well. Because he's the baby. Do we get to the point where we can't take something that's not a little pre-digested for us? Do we get to the point sometimes where we're just very comfortable with that which has already been digested for us? That which someone else has, they've cut it up, chewed it up, made it ready. Do we get that way sometimes? One of the, I think, great misunderstandings of the American church is the concept that the main reason we come to church is to be fed. This gets really awkward to try to talk about because I love preaching. teaching, sharing what God's given me. But real Christianity isn't as much about coming to church as it is becoming the church. Now, if you know me, you know I'm not saying you don't need to come to church. I believe, and maybe I'll write the book someday, Becoming the Church would be the title. Becoming the Church, some assembly required. We don't meet every day, although I would probably enjoy that. And I'm not saying not to come to church, you know me better than that, but imagine people who in the natural didn't eat all week. Answer the phone. Imagine people who are in the natural and they don't eat all week and then they show up for their meal for the first time in the week. Those people are going to get to being pretty puny pretty quickly. And they're going to be pretty desperate by the time they do show up. Do you think that would be healthy? No. No, not at all. So I believe it's God's intention that we become healthy eaters all week long. And when we come together, I'd like us to be so full that our focus is on others because there's just really no need to focus on me. Let me try that again. Not sure you got that. What if you were so full every Sunday when you walked in that you didn't care whether you got touched at all? Why? Because I've been touched a lot this week. You didn't care whether you got blessed at all because I already been blessed a lot this week. You didn't care about anything else but, wow, I wonder what I could do for someone else. Wonder how I could be a blessing. I kind of talked about this just 2 weeks ago. That I can't find anything biblically where it says the reason to come together was for us to become stronger Christians. I know that you will become a stronger Christian as a result of your being here. But we don't come together to become stronger Christians. We become stronger Christians and then we come together. And then when we do that, big things happen. See, if we're always just trying to come to get what we need every week, week after week after week, and every week it's a come and get refilled, come and get recharged, come and get renewed, then we're never going to get beyond just coming to get refilled, coming to get recharged, and coming to get renewed. But if we come already full, then there's something that might happen and that this thing would grow and bigger things could begin to take place. I'll get to that in a minute. Think about this, though. If a single mom comes in and she's struggling to handle 3 kids, does that ever happen? Yeah. And if you're already full of Jesus, then her need becomes your opportunity to minister, to care, to love on somebody, to help somebody. But if you're starved for a touch from God, then her unruly children have just become a threat to your need being met. Wow. Kind of quiet in here. My daughter-in-law's here today with my 2 lovely grandchildren while her husband is at work at another church. Heathen. No, he's fine. It's just so cool that he got this opportunity. It's just kind of weird, though. I'd like to have him around. If he was here, he'd be helping. He'd be helping. Somebody's asleep, isn't he? Yeah, look at that. So cute. Dang it. And Meemaw's got the other one. Well, what if Meemaw wasn't here? And Josh can't be here. I've already seen several people make a move toward Remy. And, of course, she's being shy. She's not sure she wants anybody to grab her. But, when somebody like that comes in and we help, it makes all the difference in the world. But there are more than just those opportunities. There are more opportunities than I can probably start to name off. And some I probably don't even think of that you could think of when someone comes in as a way to make a difference in their life. Verse 12 says you ought to be teachers. Teachers are ready to assist others in their spiritual growth. Teachers know how to research and prepare. Teachers know how to catch it, and kill it, and skin it, cook it, and eat it. Yum. Well, we need some people who are ready to go out, get what they need from God, get it prepared, get it into themselves, and then bring the energy of that with them everywhere they go. And teachers know how to help others do the same thing. Are you helping somebody grow in God? If you're helping somebody grow in God, you may not think of yourself as a teacher, but if you're helping them grow in God, then you're a teacher. Paul asks an amazing question of the Corinthians. I kind of mentioned it already. He says, are you not acting like mere humans? Mere humans. If you're acting, then you're not actually being who you really are, aren't you? When I'm acting, I'm not being me, I'm being somebody else, right? They were acting like mere humans. What is Paul saying? You're not. You are not mere humans. Some of you are inhuman. No, that's not what he's saying at all. We have more to us than meets the eye. And sometimes we don't recognize in each other or ourselves the very nature of God that he has now given to us because we are born again beings. And we don't think of ourselves or carry ourselves throughout the week as though we're carrying something that most people aren't. And right now, probably, as you make your way through whatever stores or gas stations or places of occupation, whatever you're doing, you might be one of very few, if any, lights going through that. And you should hold your head up and say, I'm amazing. Now, you don't want to just go in and announce that, by the way, though. I can just see you walking in a Circle K downtown. Hey, everybody, I'm here. I'm amazing. But the truth is the truth. The thing is, before you start saying you're amazing, maybe you ought to just start being amazing. Just walk in and look. Is there someone here I can minister to? Is there something here I can do? Is the clerk having a bad day? Did the clerk just give me the wrong change? There's your opportunity. Wait a minute! Fix this! Or, hey, I think we got kind of the wrong amount there. Can we? You having a tough day? You all right? UPS this week messed up. Yeah, they did. They did. They were supposed to deliver a mic stand to my house. And there was 2 packages actually, and they showed up and put the one on my doorstep and the other one they didn't deliver. They didn't deliver my mic stand. Now, I'm not saying you just take it because you're a Christian. Well, I'm just going to have to be nice to them. I brought it to their attention. And it was Friday, and they don't deliver again until Monday, and I wanted the mic stand. I wanted it. I didn't need it, but I wanted it. Especially if the camera's not working, the mic stand's pretty much worthless. But anyway, 2 of them are working? Yay, all right. Are we on Facebook then? Okay, we're streaming live. Hi, everybody on Facebook. Sorry we weren't on right at the beginning. Oops. Anyway, I called. Finally got a hold of a human being. You ever been there? You know, it's really hard to be Christian-like when you've already been irritated to pieces by their mechanisms that make it hard for you to find anybody. And I finally found somebody, and I says, hey, They did deliver my mic stand, and the reason I know they did deliver my mic stand is because I saw the truck out front, and I know the guy put another package on my porch, and it says, when you go to look it up now, it says, what's that? Say it loud. Yeah, first attempt. Thank you, baby. First attempt, occupant not available to receive merchandise. And I'm like, when do I ever go out to receive the merchandise? I mean, and they didn't ring the doorbell, and they didn't knock on the door, and now I'm starting to get, a little fed up with what, it's just, so I called up, but I was nice. And I just talked to the person real nicely. She said somebody will call you back in an hour. Hour and a half went by. So I got on Facebook. Do you know UPS has a Facebook web thing that you can put little comments on there? I told my story real nicely. Kyle got back to me on Facebook. Said he was going to do something. And then somebody else, whose name I can't remember, got back with me. And then somebody else got back with me. And pretty soon, I get a phone call. And they tell me I'm allowed to come and pick my package up. Isn't that nice of them? They're going to let me pick it up. But I was nice. And Saturday morning, I was able to go, even though they're closed, and I was able to pick my package up. And when I got there, there was a poor young guy who's the supervisor. And he's like hanging his head, and he's feeling bad, because he knows they're caught. They're caught. What happened was somebody put my mic stand separate from the other package on the truck. And the guy didn't see it. And when he got back, he realized, oop, I've still got this mic stand. Of course, instead of just driving, 10 minutes to my house and dropping it off, he put that I wasn't available to receive it. Because he didn't want to have to work overtime, I suppose, because it was Friday. And I laughed. And me and the supervisor had a good laugh together. And he was just the nicest fella, and I was just nice to him too. I'm so glad I was nice. Local pastor beats up UPS guy. Local pastor goes postal at UPS. Yeah. I really just tried to, sometimes you can just encourage somebody. I says, look, I know stuff happens. It's okay. Thanks for letting me pick it up. Most people will be like, I can't believe you made me drive all the way over here. I was just really sweet to them. Tried to be a good Christian witness. I tried to be above human. My mugshot would have been hilarious. Yeah, it's definitely not on page like A4. It is right on the front page if I do something stupid. So here's the thing. If I'm going to be a superhuman, and I am, do you know you're a superhero? You're a superhero. You got something supernatural inside of you that's made you a new creature. Old things have passed away. Behold, all things become new. I mean, you don't have to put on a cape. You can if you want to, I guess. But, you're a superhero. But if you're going to stay superhuman, you're going to have to feed the superhuman side of you. You're going to have to feed it. And it's going to have to be more than just milk. We're going to have to go for it. We're going to have to try really hard. So, what can we do to make this superhuman inside of us become and how can we feed that superhuman in this super crazy, super busy, super wacky world that we live in? How many of you live in that super wacky, crazy, busy world? All right. I'm glad you asked that question. I got some ideas. Never in the history of the world have Christians had so many resources available to them. Have you thought about that? I know the world's kind of nuts, but we have, especially in this country, we have stuff available to us. How many of you have seen Christian TV? How many of you have listened to Christian radio? Now, Christian radio can be listened to on demand. Some Christian TV shows can be seen on demand. It's called the internet. Al Gore made it. Yeah. And you can find the Word and worship 24/7, 365. Now, I'm not saying that you have to, be in the Word and worship 24/7, 365, except for that you should be in the Word 24/7, 365. I know you can't listen, you can't be in a service like this 24/7, 365. I know that some of you have jobs that you need to go to. Some of us are retired. Some of us are not. The church, by the way, has a website. And on our website, you can catch all the messages that you've missed. It goes back over 2 years at this point. And if you really, really, don't have anything else to do, I have 10 years worth of DVDs you can watch in the office. Yeah, never mind. I don't expect you to do that. But what I am saying is, there are so many resources out there now. I listen to podcasts. Does anybody listen to podcasts? I really like to listen to podcasts. It's amazing. So it's really easy to access this stuff. You say, well, I don't know when I would do that. I do it while I'm mowing grass. I do it while I'm driving down the road on my way to some place that I've got to be. And I feed myself regularly. I listen to a lot of podcasts. And I like it. It works into me. It challenges me. It makes me think. And the technology is, in most of us, we have it in our pocket. Most of you have one of these in your pocket, don't you? I know not everybody can afford certain plans, and you have to be in a Wi-Fi hotspot, and but those things are available. Free Wi-Fi is all over the place. I don't even know what a Wi-Fi is, Pastor. I can teach you. Seriously. And my phone, along with this iPad and another iPad, all have like dozens of Bible versions on them. So I can read. And if I can't read it, I can look it up by Googling it. By the way, Google is the fastest way to find any Bible verse, just in case you didn't know. Even if you've somewhat corrupted it. Say what you can remember of the verse and type it into Google or speak it. Now you can speak to your gizmos and it'll find it. And part of the problem when I type stuff in is I misspell it. So it's really much better just to say it sometimes. Right? Yep. Yep. You hear me? The technology affords us amazing opportunities so that we don't have to be like the early church, who it says met in the temple in Jerusalem and met together in different places and house to house every day. Every day. You know why they met every day? So they could get fed every day. There was teaching and preaching and ministry going on every day. There was worship going on every day. Acts chapter 2, verse 46, Acts chapter 5, verse 42, chapter 17, verse 17, and chapter 19, verse 9. There are 4 just good examples of they were spending time feeding that superhuman thing inside it. What's superhuman? Beyond human. They were feeding. By the way, YouTube, amazing. Not only can you find great cat videos, but you can find some of your favorite speakers on YouTube. I'm even there. Yeah, our church has a YouTube channel. I don't know how to use it. I understand that. And it's all free. Don't have time to watch something? Then listen. Then listen. I just pop those little apps on my phone and I click on them and I can listen to different people while I'm mowing grass and hear stuff that I need to hear, get fed. It's really good. There are opportunities. We just have to remember to do it, don't we? Just have to want to. And somebody says, well, I don't know how to do all that stuff. Can I make an offer to you? Exclusive offer. Not on a limited time basis. if you're not having fortune trying to do some of these things with your technology, come see me. I'll take you to lunch, and then I'll teach you how to use it. If we have to meet more than one time, I will help you. So why would you do that? Because I know you won't show up every week every day of the week if I open up the church and have a service. You can't. And yet, I could watch you grow by giving you opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. Seriously, I would. I really would. And most of us already have access to the technology. So I was in Walmart yesterday. I went in to buy a couple little pieces that were supposed to make this camera thing work today, and it didn't anyway. Technology. So you have to learn. We're gonna get this down until it works every time. But I was in Walmart, and there are two people there, and they're talking to one of the people in your department, Andrew. And they're saying to this young guy, we need cell phones, we need a cell phone plan. I think they were talking about, doing Straight Talk or something, and he was trying to tell them all the different choices they had. And they were closer to my age, probably a little younger than me, to tell you the truth. And I heard the lady say, we just need to be able to talk. We just need to be able to talk. And so I interrupted him. It's time to minister. I said, you stupid people. No, I didn't. I said, you don't need to be able to talk only. Do you have any grandchildren? Well, yeah. Don't you want to see pictures? Don't you want to get little videos from them? What if you could talk to them face to face, live? And I started just saying some of the things that I love to do. So, I've got not only my two cute little grandkids staying with us now, but I've got one over in Indiana, Landon. And a while back, his mother, I hear this ding, and I open it up, and there's a text message. But it's not just a text message, it's a video. This is awesome. And it's Landon. He's striking this kid out. I couldn't be at the game, so she sent me video of him striking a boy out. And then my phone goes off again, ding, and he's striking the second kid out. I'm like, yeah, come on, ding. He strikes 3 kids out in the same inning. I'm like, whoa, yeah. Grandpa's feeling really good. Why would you not want that? See, this idea that I need a phone just to talk, that's a lie from the pit of hell. You don't even need a phone to talk. You can go back to the way we used to do it. Just write yourself a letter. They'll put it on a sailing vessel. It'll sail back to England. And your family who's back there will hear from you every 3 or 4 months. It's amazing. You don't need no phone. We got along without phones for most of history. Why do we need a phone? Yeah, cans of string, right? See, this is the thing. You don't need a phone. You want one. Why? Because you want to be able to talk to people, because you want to have the convenience of having it with you. It's amazing. I remember when they first came out, I thought, man, I'll never own one of those. The doctor I knew in southern Indiana owned one. Man, that's a lot of waste of money. Now everybody's got one. And if you have the available technology to you, what if you use it to change your life so that you can use it to change the lives of others? Use your life, that is, to change the lives of others. See, you don't need a phone, you want one. Well, you should want the opportunity that the technology affords you. And if you've got it, trust me, it is not as complicated. In fact, any of you got all those old flip phones? Did you know those are harder to work than the ones that, this phone's way easier to work than, it's just way easier to work. I'm just telling you, it's way easier to work. Yeah, Doug needs to go to lunch with me this week, and that'll be fun. But then he'd have to spend money on a phone. Okay. Tattletale. Yeah, take a number. But it is. It's really cool, the things that we can do right now. But think how we can use it. I've literally texted people a text message and had them receive a healing. Because I sent a text and said, be healed in the text. And they were healed. Tom's getting on the internet and talking to people on Facebook in Muslim countries and ministering to them. Well, that internet's dangerous. It is. Let's beat the devil up with it. That internet's got a bad stuff on it, I know, and you're a light. Go ahead and get right in there and shine. So think with me a minute. What if I could do some things that would charge me up and make me much more of who God wants me to be? What if I could grow? What if I could fellowship with people every day of the week and go to services and get even, more powerful in God? And what if as I start ministering to people, as I said a couple of weeks ago, I find that I get even more powerful because I grow as I minister to others? You're more blessed to give than to receive, Jesus said. Think with me. What would these gatherings be like? What would our times together be like? What would our times in restaurants or just coming to each other's houses be like if the second we walked in, we were so full of the Holy Spirit that we just started blessing everybody in each house that we visited. And they started blessing us. And pretty soon there's more and more and more that's happening. And we're just focused that way. I believe that when God's people are taught to be who God says they are, not just mere humans, but superhumans, when we really reach that point, then the church will reach its full potential. And I believe that as we begin to come into our full potential, we will do something amazing. We won't just reach people in nations, but we will reach nations. We read that last verse of Matthew as though we're supposed to go and make disciples in all nations. But do you know what the Bible actually says there? It doesn't say make disciples, a handful of disciples in all nations. It says go make disciples of nations. What would it look like if nations began to come to Christ? And who says it can't happen? And who says it won't happen? Well, superheroes, you get to do that. You get to be part of making that happen. You're more amazing than you think.